I'm Kat Miller.
And I'm Camille Lee.
Welcome to Passionate Living. And we have a new co-host today with us, Linguini. And Linguini is my TikTok star. He's also my close companion, my comfort ferret. And he's going to be on the show today. We're going to have some fun moments from Linguini,
Yes.
And believe me, he is fun.
He is so fun.
He's
He's a little naughty though.
He's a lot of naughty. Not even a little. Well, I guess he fits with us.
Yeah.
When Camille and I are together, we do tend to get in a little trouble, which we have some outtakes today that you'll be enjoying at the end of our show.
Yeah.
Some funny outtakes.
Yeah.
And
Awesome.
and we have Alice and Richard today about their
Oh my gosh.
artwork.
Yes, that art is so amazing.
Yeah,
So
and we're going to
cool.
hear about her artwork in the Smithsonian and the Clintons and
So
Oprah
nice.
and a lot of amazing parts of their story that we're
Beautiful.
going to finish
Oh
sharing.
my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it.
Hey, what did you do this weekend?
Nothing. I just had like a basic normal weekend, just like always.
Camille Lee getting down.
I'm really excited for today's show. I think it's going to be wonderful.
Yes.
And if you're watching the Open, buckle your seatbelts and get ready for an amazing ride into
Passionate living.
And tell me now, your art is such a huge part of your lives. I mean, it's, I think they say in relationship that when you enter a relationship, there's actually three entities. There's you, and then there's the third one that is created by your combined spirits, your souls. And you two, it's so obvious, have created this combined manifestation of your art, of your work together, and it's remarkable.
It is. And we're not in competition with each other at all, and we support each other. Like people will sometimes walk in the studio and say, do you two share the studio? And I say, yeah, of course. And then they say, well, how can you work together? And I said, how can we not work together? I mean, and also, it's like I can be painting something, and he can walk in and say, maybe you need to see something about the painting. And it's like I so value what he sees and what he says about things.
She's actually let me take a brush
Yeah.
and work on her work, and I've let her sculpt for me.
Yeah, because we have the same vision.
Right.
And we're like, I think we were Siamese twins.
I think so too. Well, it's funny because in your painting, you painted portraits traditionally.
Yeah.
And now tell me a little bit about that, because I know there's a whole new realm being channeled through you. And it's funny because you were mentioning you would bring her food out here or she would never eat. And I just love that you take care of each other.
We do. We really do take care of each other in every way. He's my baby boy. And I'm his baby girl, and he's also everything.
Yeah.
So sweet.
Oh, God.
I know, it's so sweet.
It is so sweet.
There's not a day that goes by when we don't express our love for each other and just say, can you believe how lucky we are that we have this? We really appreciate it. We take nothing for granted, and it's...
But it's not luck,
Yeah.
It's
like you say, it's a testament to the way that you two live in this relationship. Yeah.
And also it's affected our way of how we live in the world, because when your eyes are open to love, then you see things through loving eyes. Even the worst things you can have compassion for, even though they scare you or whatever. Like what's going on in the world now is that you can't, it's hard even to hate, even to hate the horrible things that are happening, because there's so much
coming from love.
Coming from love and compassion for it all.
And the raven is taking memory. Drummer, and what I tried to do is capture the passion that I had when I was playing drums. The circle from infant to a young man to an old man.
Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
This is a couple in loving embrace.
Oh, beautiful. Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow. You know, it's interesting because you talk about the things happening in the world now and this activation of love that's so powerful and so important as we progress, you know, sharing it in the art, sharing it in the books, sharing it in the show that we do, sharing it, you know, people that are really out there advocating for love in these times when love is the one elixir that could potentially heal everything with humans. And I see it in your art. I just want to talk a little bit how you went from tell me about the portraits. Tell me about this work.
So the portraits, when I started painting again after 22 years, I started painting people because I love people. And that's how the portraits happened, you know, and I've painted my whole family. I've painted, you know, I've painted a lot of portraits. And I love painting portraits, and it was been such a pleasure to, you know, like when I'm painting them, they come alive to me. And sometimes when I look at them, they actually move. I can actually see them breathing, which is very strange, but it happens if I stare at them. And it just, I love painting portraits. I love painting people. And I've been doing that for many, many years.
It's interesting because it's, you know, usually paintings, the center has the point of interest.
Right.
Here there's nothing. All the interest is on the edges.
There was kind of a period, I guess it was after COVID sometime, where I didn't paint for about a year. And I wasn't worried about it, just nothing was happening. Because sometimes when it's silent, you're actually gestating.
Right,
but
something is being born
born,
inside.
yeah. Sweeping the floor one day, kind of in a bad mood, which is very rare for me to be in. And I heard a voice say to me, go into the studio and go do something, and don't worry about what you're doing, just go in the studio and do it. And I went, okay. I put my broom down. I came in the studio and I opened a drawer and I pulled out my pastels that I hadn't worked on in years, and I found some paper, because I must say that most of my paintings were burned in the fire. We had a big fire up here, so I lost at least 100 paintings, if not more, and a lot of
30 years of work, 40 years of work.
But it was gone. What can you do? I mean, it was still inside of me, and the process of creating it was, you know, beautiful, and that'll never go away.
Like the monks with the mandalas when they build these
go
beautiful
out.
sand paintings and then they brush them away.
And that's what it is. So anyway, I came in the studio and I just started doing these stream of consciousness drawings, you know, just like I didn't even know what they were, just moving the color around. And then when I would see an image in it, I would then turn the paper around, because I didn't want my mind in it too. I didn't want to have any preconceived notions about what was going on in the paper. And so I did about 8 pastel drawings, and then I graduated back into paint. And it's been about a year and a half since I've been doing these, and I've done 41 paintings. And I'm like a maniac. One starts to dry and I'm already painting the next one, and I just can't help myself. They're very different. They're so completely different than anything that I've ever done in my life, and I don't even really understand how they're happening, or except I know that I'm in meditation when I'm doing them, because I'm just in that state of no noise in my head. And then when the noise comes and it starts to tell me, oh, this looks like something or other, and I started working on it and making it look like that, I go, no, and I just turn the canvas. I don't want to have any influence on it.
Right.
I want it just to come from wherever it's coming from.
4 years after we fell in love, we decided to travel the world. So I quit my job, or actually we quit our job, because we were co-directors of a psychiatric hospital.
Oh, wow. You and Alice?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't
Well,
know that.
I was a director, and then they saw Alice how she worked with people, and they said, "We're hiring you both."
Oh my God, that's wonderful.
Yeah. So we quit after a year to travel around the world.
I love that.
So this is on the Ganges. This is a family we stayed with in Morocco, Greece. We rode on camels through the desert. We're in India. We climbed Mount Sinai early in the morning and took that picture as the sun was rising. She has 2 paintings in the National Portrait Gallery of the Smithsonian. She had a painting in the White House.
I never left the house. I never did any marketing. Nothing. You know, everything has happened to me. Just come to me, like you. Here you are making a film about us. You know, and you walked into our house.
Matt and Rhonda for that introduction.
Yeah, and so with like the Smithsonian, for example, I was painting a portrait of Beatrice Wood, who is a famous potter, and she lived down the road in Ojai, and she was 100 years old. So I had this opportunity and this blessing to sit with her in her studio at 100 years old while she was throwing pot after pot after pot, you know, and it was like amazing. So I was also teaching a class in the studio, and one of my students said, "You know, you ought to send a copy of that painting to the National Portrait Gallery in the Smithsonian." I said, "Okay," I didn't even think twice. Why, you know, and so when class was over, I went in there and I started typing this little letter to the Smithsonian. Richard walked in, he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I'm going to send a painting of Beatrice Wood, a photograph of it to the National Portrait Gallery. And he laughed, and I said, "Hey." You know,
Sure.
So I said, "So what? It's a stamp." You know,
Right.
and that time it was stamped, so we didn't do anything. I had a computer screen was this big, was one of the early ones. Anyway, so I sent it. It wasn't glitzy. I just sent a snapshot of it and a little thing about Beatrice Wood. And the next week, I'm in my studio with my students, and they're painting in here, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and the gal says, "Hello, this is Brandon Fortune. I'm the curator of the National Portrait Gallery." And I went like this, and she said, "And we love your painting of Beatrice Wood. We want to see it in person." And I went, "Oh, okay," like this. And then Richard came running into the studio. He must have felt some energy or something. He's in the studio, and I'm still on the phone. Everybody's standing around me like this while I'm talking.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I go, "Ah!" When I hang up. I can't even believe this has happened. I scream.
Right.
And so that's how it happened. They send the truck with all the the heaters in them and the air conditioners and
White gloves and
they wrap it up like, and they
my
sends it to Washington, and the rest is history. They bought it. And then I have another painting in the Smithsonian that Brandon said to me, "If you ever paint anybody famous again, let me know." So I painted Betty Friedan, who was the mother of the
We have Kate, who you all know from her episode on Passionate Living, in the background here helping today, and she's like, "Oh, I love her." I love that.
Yeah, I sent her a snapshot of Betty Friedan. Same story. She called me back. She said, "We love it, and we want to see it in person." And then that happened. So that painting now has been hanging for about 15 years in the Smithsonian, the National Portrait Gallery.
Oh my God.
In an exhibit called Search for Justice, with all these people who have served, the country and the world and humanity.
How did you end up living this life of passion? Just knowing to follow your heart, knowing to listen to your heart, and to do these things.
When you get called, you just have to answer. And I was called to music. I was called to psychology. I was called to sculpt. And now I'm called to write, because I'm really not doing any of that other than writing now. That's my, I wake up in the morning and write. I go to sleep at night, wake up in the middle of the night and write. And I think passion is what keeps people young and gives people a reason to live.
Exactly.
And so I'm in it now. I'm 80 years old, and I'm ageless, because when you're in passion, you're ageless.
Yes,
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
When you're in passion, you're ageless. That is a great, if there's ever a quote
Yeah.
to put.
Well, there's
maybe I'll
no
borrow that
time.
one, just put it on the website. When you're in passion, you're ageless.
Yeah. This is a magical place.
Oh, I feel it when I walk in. This is beautiful. You've turned this into a sanctuary up here.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah.
Oh God, I just love you guys.
Love you too.
Oh
I
man.
can give you some tea to go though.
Oh, see, the interview. She's gonna feed. They fed us lunch, and now tea. I'm never leaving. I'm never ever leaving. I just love you guys. Thank you for the interview today.
Thank you for the interview. It's so sweet. Well, we're talking here.
Oh, you didn't know this is the end of the piece that we're filming. This is a goodbye for the piece.
Don't go.
No.
After her ankle.
I am here at Earth Day in Santa Barbara with my dear friend Ruth, who just happened to call me, and I didn't know I was going to make it to Santa Barbara. And she calls me and says, "What are those mics? I want to order them. I want to do some shooting at the thing, filming." And I said, "Well, I'm in town, so you could just use mine." What are the odds?
Perfect. And I haven't seen you in years, and
Years.
I just
Out of the
reached out
blue.
out of the blue.
And like I said, I didn't think I was going to be able to get to Santa Barbara this trip. So it's just a quick little in and out. So anybody that sees me, I'm so sorry if I didn't see you, because I'm only here a couple hours. But Ruth, you're doing such cool, amazing stuff. Could you tell me a little bit about it? This is your passion. I know it's your passion because I've known you for years.
Well, I do a bunch of different things, and I think right now I've kind of started to meld them all together.
Wonderful.
So, I've always been interested in helping people get out of their head and into their heart, so that they could share their message and share their gifts, kind of
Right.
like what you're talking about with the whole passionate living. And I do it by helping them with their content and their videos, so that they can actually get themselves out there. If you're not sharing it, people aren't hearing it.
I love that so much.
So we are heart-centered people, and
Right.
that's who I connect with a lot. And for me, back in my singer-songwriter days, it would take me 2 hours to create a 2-minute video around promoting myself. Like, singing the songs was no problem.
Right,
But then
right.
to promote myself, it would take me 2 hours to record a 2-minute video.
Wow.
And I thought, there's got to be a better way. And I looked, and I couldn't find anything. I created it.
I love that.
And that's what I'm doing now.
And you help people to be their authentic self. And I think that's the key. Like, I know for me, if I thought about that camera, and that was the first time I'm thinking about it because we're talking about it, but
Sure.
if I thought about the camera, it would change the dynamic, but I forget it's there. When I get with somebody, I just think about them. All I care about is what their passion is. I want to hear about it. And if I was thinking about being on for the camera,
Right.
it would change the dynamic, because you would feel it, I would feel it,
Absolutely.
everybody would feel it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that the challenging part is that many entrepreneurs have to do it on their own, and
Yeah.
they're not in person with somebody, or
Right.
they're looking at it and they have to create something. Oh my gosh, I have to promote my offer.
Right.
And so they get on Zoom and they look at themselves, and then they hit the little button and it goes recording in progress, and all of a sudden you go, and everything you thought you were going to say has gone right out the door.
Right.
And you have no idea, and then you look stiff, and then you're trying not to read, and you're trying to and you're not being natural.
No.
And then people are picking up on that.
Right.
And then you feel horrible, and you do one take after another take after
Right.
another take, and then the more takes you get, the more. I actually said to somebody the other day, I'm like, that's pain. 2 hours to create 2 minutes, and then it doesn't feel
To
right.
suffer for what we love. passion,
Right,
right?
right,
But we shouldn't have to suffer so much.
And that's pain. And here's the thing is,
Yeah.
we don't like pain. So then the idea of, okay, well, I got to do this again tomorrow. And you're like, yeah, right.
And that's when your social media and your message to the community spirals, because if it isn't fun, we don't consistently do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. What's the name of your company?
Get Real, REEL videos.
I like
So it's
that.
Getting real to
I
be
get that
real.
little double meaning, double entendre.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
More coming. More
Yay,
soon.
yay. Thank you.
As you can possibly
Yeah.
imagine that we bless you. Bless you, Linguini. When we're together to get into mischief, we almost saw Ferret go over the edge of the furniture. I'm looking for Linguini because I heard a little sound in the kitchen. And this is my recycling bag. And there's Linguini in the recycling bag. Did she get stuck in there? You stuck in there, buddy? Oh my gosh. Can I have my sweat? Ow! Ow! I want my sweats back. Ah! They don't even fit you. Thank you so much for watching today. Remember to press like, comment, and subscribe. And if you really love us supporting what we're doing, become a member and we'll give you some great behind the scenes stuff that nobody else gets to see. And also continue your exploration of passionate living by watching one of these awesome videos. Thanks again.